Welcome back to Backstage Live. We're here with Janine Driver, the author of You Say More Than You Think. So Janine, tell us, what's the new body language?
Yeah, this is the 7-day plan on using the new body language to get what you want. So the new body language is, I worked for law enforcement, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, with the Justice Department. I can't put someone in jail because they scratch their nose or cross their arms. So my body language book, You Say More Than You Think, is based on science, and then it has a unique, interesting feel to it. It's a 7-day plan, so at the end of every day, you learn something new for 7 days. There's exercises. So you can use the body language as part of your life to get what you want.
Like to train yourself.
Right, and then at the end, I have this great question chapter, and it's all about asking powerful questions. Because wrinkle your nose for me, right there. So that's a micro expression of disgust. Yeah. And I say, hey, would you like to have me on again? And you do disgust. Are you disgusted with me? Or maybe you just realized, oh, I have a new puppy and I forgot to let my puppy out before I came to work today. And all of a sudden you're thinking of the mess the puppy's going to make. Don't be a mind reader. These other body language books, the old body language, they're mind reading books. My book is backed with science, and it's what kept me alive for 15 years at the ATF. My book saves lives because it's going to teach you, it's a tool to get what you want, and it's a tool to read body language accurately.
Well, so if you're reading everybody's body language, does that drive you a little bit crazy? Like you were just saying, if I wrinkle my nose, it could mean a couple of different things, you know?
That movie, remember Jim Carrey became God? It was called Bruce Almighty, and all the prayers come in, and he put sticky notes all over the place with all these prayers. It could be like that. I actually do shut it off. I have to say to myself, I'm a mother of a 4-year-old. I'd really go nuts, you know, thinking of body language every move. I put it on, I turn it on and say, okay, this is important to me. This person in front of me is important to me, or this job is important to me, or these two people I want to connect are important to me, so I want to read both of their body language to see if they're connecting. And
so are you a really good matchmaker?
I am a great matchmaker. I am. I'm Cupid. It doesn't matter, gay, straight. I am like the matchmaker to call. I have connected so many people, and I started with this girl, Wanda, when I was with ATF, with the Justice Department. She goes, hey, you know how to tell people are lying, body language, all this stuff. I've trained 60,000 cops, lawyers, and judges. I go to Scotland Yard and all over the country, to Canada. And so she calls me in. I go on a date with her, except her and her date are in one booth, and I'm in another booth. He has no idea I'm there. And we meet up in the bathroom, and I'm like text messaging her, code red, in the bathroom, stat. Because she was doing this. She had her arm like around the base of the chair here. And it was overly aggressive. This man was really shy. So what he did is, I want you to turn your belly button and face this way.
Oh, this way.
So, but now look at me. This is what's called the cold shoulder, and I did this in the segment here this morning, talking about the cold shoulder. You face your belly button in the direction you want to head. So what's happening here is you're saying you want out of this conversation. So my friend Wanda, when she was doing this, I'm like, code red!
Don't do it!
You're ruining the date!
Oh,
you know?
no.
So in a work setting, you want to be careful. Is your belly button facing the person you want to like you and believe in your idea? Or if there's a coworker you don't like very much, make sure you're giving them the cold shoulder. Okay, I'll get that done for you by 2 o'clock. I call this naval intelligence. We face our belly button in the direction we want to go.
Wait, so what happened with Wanda?
So she adjusted, and then we went in a couple different times. She adjusted. What I had her do is I had her become small. And a lot of these old body language books, they'll say, well, you never want to sit with your hands folded on your lap. There's a time and a place you want to disappear. There's a time and a place you want to be left alone. There's a time and a place you don't want to come on too strong. Same thing if you're late for work, and we barely had time on the segment this morning to talk about this. If you're late for work, I don't want to come in with a hand on my hip and say to my boss, well, I'm sorry I'm late. You know, I have a kid. So this is aggressive. This is attitude. One hand on the hip is attitude. Instead, I want to say, oh, I'm so sorry I came in late. I do want to get smaller. So I had Wanda get smaller. And I said, get smaller. Turn her body away a little bit. So it took the pressure off of him. In a matter of minutes, he turned around and he started engaging in her, and it turned it around. They dated for about 8 months.
Oh, my God.
Yes. It was fun. So body language makeovers on the fly. And that's the beauty of You Say More Than You Think. Every chapter starts off with a law enforcement story. So I met the 2 guys that got Jeffrey Dahmer to confess. Imagine if you can find out what they did with their body language and their word choices to get him to confess, then I can teach you to get yeses. From dating, for business, job interviews, to even helping you get someone to move you on Saturday.
Okay, so tell me how to get a yes. Let's learn.
All right. So here's a way to get a yes. Always a palm up gesture is likability. It's called the beggar's pose. $1 please, $1 please. So when you want to get a yes, you simply just put your palm up, and you want to use what's called an embedded command. So is it Kaylee?
Yes.
Kaylee. So Kaylee, whether you want to help me move on Friday or not help me move on Friday, that's up to you, but I could really use your help. What I've just said is twice, help me move.
Help me move.
Whether you want to help me or not help me. We don't hear the word not. We don't hear the words don't. I have a 4-year-old. If I said, Angus, don't run in the street, don't run in the street, don't run in the street, what am I telling him?
Run in the street.
I instead say, Angus, stay on the sidewalk. Stay on the sidewalk. So it's a double-edged sword. You can use don'ts when you want someone to do something. Kaylee, whether you buy me lunch today or don't buy me lunch today, it's up to you. I've just told you twice, buy me lunch.
Buy me lunch.
Right. And now this palm up gesture. Palm down is aggressive. Hey, listen, I need you to get with it. You're getting on my nerves. I need you to get this done by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive. Okay, so what else do we have? We got.
Sorry, I'm
No.
talking about body language.
So does that? No, I was about to say, are you trying to get out here?
Yeah, right. I'm out of here. No, I would say this. Anyone that wants an edge in the game of life, just realize we play this game when we were kids. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Make sure when you're reading other people's body language, you get their baseline. How do they normally behave? How do they normally sit? Your head is tilted, which is, I'm listening. If you want me to take you seriously and you say, Janine, I need you to get this done by Friday, don't have a head tilt. You need to know your own baseline and your own norm, what message it sends to others, so you can adapt it. It's great for TV. You're saying, I'm important, what I'm saying is important. When I want in a job interview and you say, these are my skill sets, make sure you have a level head. This is what it's called, level-headed, versus the tilt is listening. So it's all about adaptability. Be careful of misreading people. So get that baseline. Maybe someone moves their foot a mile a minute. You know, maybe they're just a fidgety person. It doesn't mean they're lying.
Right.
But make sure you're keeping, I'll give you this one last awesome tip.
Yeah.
We have 3 power zones that we keep open at all times. And that's our neck dimple, our belly button, and what I call the naughty bits, this below the belt area. So we keep these 3 zones open when we have nothing to hide. A great way to impress people around a boardroom table, and I talked about this on the show this morning, is simply, I'm sitting in what's called the figure 4 position. It's a male-dominated position, mostly seen in the United States of America. Women today, power alpha women, are doing this. We have Rachel Ray doing this, Ellen DeGeneres doing this. If you're in a pantsuit, it creates the number 4. Then you pop back your shoulder, your elbow like this, right? Look at this. Look what you just did.
Okay.
You just popped it. You took up more space. Men have no problem taking up space. Women, we tend to get small. If you pop it back up.
Okay.
Look it. You just look divalicious. You look sexy, hot, powerful. Women in the workplace and women in the dating world, from the bar room to the boardroom to the bedroom, we need to take up some space. And this is a great way to do it. You look super powerful. You can see the difference. Now go small again.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at, you're cute and shy. Pop it. You're powerful
Totally.
and
And you feel different. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if you just exhale when you put the arm back there or what
You've
it
got
is.
that Angelina Jolie kind of sex appeal. Bam, as soon as you pop it. So
Yeah.
pop your elbow back, and you can do it on any chair, and it'll make you look more confident.
So, since we have been talking about jobs all day, you talked about the level head in a job interview. Any other specific things in a job interview that people should really be conscious of? Particularly don'ts.
Right,
you know?
here's a big don't. I'm crossing my leg right now. I'm very fidgety. This works for me, or my foot would go a mile a minute. You're crossing your leg in a more traditional female cross, right? Ideally, in a job interview, no leg crossing. Your feet should be off to the side, flat on the ground. What happens when your feet are flat on the ground? You're saying, you can count on me. My feet are firmly on the ground. That's where that expression comes from. Don't cross your legs. This is why you don't cross your legs. My leg is crossed, and you say, Janine, explain the gap in the resume from 2004 to 2005. And I say, well, I took off time to go take care of my son. I had a new baby. And I cross and uncross my leg. The interviewer has read these old body language books, and they think when people move that they're lying. So now your leg's just tired. So you uncross it to cross it, and now the interviewing manager or the hiring manager or the recruiter thinks you're holding something back. Right. So ideally, both feet flat on the ground. Make sure you're keeping your 3 power zones open. Nothing on your lap.
On your lap.
Yes. So you have some papers on your lap. You have to. You're interviewing me. You have my book and some other papers. Nothing on your lap. Simply be completely open. Don't be afraid. You can pop it. And here's a big never. Never do this move. This is called steepling. This is power, authority, and confidence. Who does this all the time? We see Donald Trump, right? Just before people are fired on The Apprentice. He'll go, you're fired, and back to the steeple. This move is great at the end of the job interview, not in the beginning. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. It's too aggressive. Right. But at the end, you're establishing a rapport with these open palm gestures. At the end, when they say, so, Kaylee, Janine, do you guys have any questions of our company? Now bring out the steeple. As a matter of fact, I was wondering, what are your competitors doing that you're not doing? Or, as a matter of fact, I was wondering, do you have any women advancement programs within your company? So I could go from the steeple to open palm back to a steeple. This says you've prepared some really powerful questions, and it also sends the message you can get the job done. But you're not bullying them up front. And that's it.
What about if you're sitting at a conference table? Hands, on the table. I mean,
this is a big mistake. Again, most people sit at a conference room table with their hands folded. This is how my 4-year-old sits when he wants sugared cereal. Please have sugar corn pops, please. This is very passive. This is a bad move, but yet people do this all the time. Instead, take up space. If the boardroom table is here, have your hands in sight. We want to be able to see them. Lean back. So you can lean, you can pop back the shoulder, have the other hand here, so you're gesturing.
And talking with your hands is good?
Yes, if you're going to talk with your hands, whether you're in a boardroom or in a job interview, the rule is this: you have to keep it within the frame of your body. The bigger the audience, the bigger the gestures. If you're in a job interview or at the boardroom and you say, listen, I got to tell you I have this great idea, you send the message you're out of control. So simply keep your hand gestures, all your gestures within the frame of your body. This is an emblem that says, hey, everything I'm telling you, everything's going to be okay. I'm on the right track. This is a great move. We see this in politics a lot now. We used to see Bill Clinton with the thumb of power. America, I want you to listen. We don't have it. And Tony Blair did the thumb of power. This thumb of power was a combination of pointing and chopping. America, I want you to listen. Want you to listen. America, I want you to listen. Listen good. That's what this was. Today, we see this. My opponent wants you to believe this, blah, blah, blah. So this is A-okay. Do these gestures all the time in a boardroom. Take up some space. Let me see your hands. Keep your 3 power zones open. No coat or briefcase or notebook across your lap. And smile, but no open mouth smile. This is you're the irritating cheerleader. It's too much. Have like a little smirk, and when someone says something you like, then flash them the big smile. And that's a great way to establish rapport.
Let's see real quick if we've got any questions. We've got questions from our chat room.
All right, chat it up.
You've talked about the body language that you should present to the prospective employer. How can you tell if the prospective employer is really interested in you or not?
Oh, that's
a great question. So the question is, how can you tell if the employer is into you or not? Or the interviewer? That's an awesome question. So whoever wrote that, good job. You're thinking. Very smart. One of the great ways is we lean towards things we like and away from things we don't like. So as you're answering the questions, does the interviewer lean towards you as they're connecting, or do they suddenly lean back and create some distance with you? If they're creating distance, it's not all over yet. You need to make sure you ask a powerful question, like I talk about in my book. I'll give you a freebie right now, is maybe I'm wrong here. It seems to me that I didn't answer the question the way you wanted me to. Or maybe I'm wrong here. It seems like you want more from that answer. Could you ask me, what else would you like to hear about that response? This is a great way to take that interview to the next level. Because I'm saying maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe they just realized, I have to pick up my dry cleaning, and this interview's going over slightly. They like you, but they're anxious about something else. We're not mind readers. Ask those powerful questions. If I could give you one tip, and this is from a friend of mine, her name is Michelle Pollard Patrick, and her best friend's the Vice President of the United States and his sister. And I love Michelle. And Michelle says this: at the end of every job interview, this is the must-ask question. You should say, how do I measure up to the other candidates for this job? And they would say one way or the other. If they say, well, someone else has better writing skills, it gives you an opportunity to then talk about your writing skills. Right. And last but not least, you would say, is there any reason why you wouldn't hire me for this position? Most people are afraid to ask that, so you need to practice it 50 times. Do it. Is there any reason why you wouldn't hire me for this position? As soon as they give you a response, if they say, no, there's no reason why, at that point you say, great, when can I expect an acceptance letter? Companies today want doers. They want people who are going to get the job done. You're being assertive but not aggressive. It is super powerful to end your interview with those 2 questions. Is there any reason why you wouldn't hire me for this position? If they say, no, there's no reason why, say, great, when can I expect the next phase, the acceptance letter? You'll be surprised. You'll be finally the person that gets selected for the position. So combine your body language and your word choices. And don't be a mind reader. When you see the interviewer close off, ask a powerful question. Peel that layer and find out what's really happening there.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Janine.
Great.
This
Thanks,
was
Kaylee.
fun.